You know the feeling, right? We've all been there, just staring at that blinking cursor on a blank page, a total sea of white, and your brain is just stuck. You have all these ideas, but getting them onto the page, it feels impossible. It's super frustrating, but it really doesn't have to be.
Or, hey, maybe you get the words out, but when you read them back, they just don't have that spark. They feel a little flat, a little generic. You're thinking, this doesn't sound like me. Or even worse, there's no way this is going to convince anyone. That's another huge hurdle, and we're going to get over it today. But what if you could just smash right through that wall? What if you had a tool that didn't just help you find the words, but actually helped you make them sharper, more powerful, and way more persuasive? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. So let's get into it. We're going to explore how to use ChatGPT, but not as some kind of ghostwriter to do the work for you. No, we're going to use it as your own personal writing coach. This is all about building your skills, not about taking shortcuts.
This right here is the most important mindset shift. Think about it. A coach doesn't get on the field and play the game for you, right? They give you the strategies, the drills, the feedback so that you can win. And that is exactly our approach today.
Okay, so every single great piece of writing, whether it's an email or a novel, it starts with a rock-solid foundation. You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, and you shouldn't start writing without one either.
And the cornerstone of that whole blueprint? It's your thesis statement. Now, this isn't just your topic. It's your core argument. It's the one central idea that your entire piece is designed to prove and defend.
Okay, just look at the difference here. On the left, that weak thesis, well, it's just a fact. Remote work has changed workplace culture. Okay, and it's passive. But the strong thesis on the right, which you can develop with an AI coach, that's a real argument. It's debatable, it's nuanced, and you can instantly see the roadmap for the rest of the piece. It promises a much more interesting journey for your reader.
So once you have that strong thesis, you can build out your argument using this incredible structure, the TEEL method. This does more than just organize your thoughts. It actually builds trust with your reader. Each paragraph becomes its own little powerhouse of proof. It has a clear point, an explanation, solid evidence, and your analysis, all linking perfectly to the next idea. It makes your whole argument feel just inevitable, and that is incredibly persuasive. All right, your structure is solid as a rock. Now let's talk about the words themselves, the language. This is where we go from writing that's just clear and correct to writing that is genuinely compelling and something people will actually remember.
You know, great writing has a rhythm to it. It's not just what you say, it's how it sounds and feels when someone reads it. It should have a mix of precise, interesting words and different kinds of senses, some long and flowing, others short and punchy. It creates a flow that keeps your reader totally hooked. It's all about making your language as powerful as your ideas.
So here's your workout plan for your writing gym. These are specific drills you can run with your AI coach. Instead of just vaguely saying, make this better, you give it targeted commands just like these. This actually forces you to think like an editor and be an active part of improving your own work. Seriously, try these out. And this slide just shows the impact perfectly. I mean, look at these two sentences. They're saying the same basic thing, right? But the second one uses precise, professional language. It's not about using big words just to sound smart. It's about choosing the right words to show you really get the topic. It instantly changes how your reader sees your authority.
Okay, with a solid structure and sharp language, you are almost there. But this last step, this is the one that really separates good writing from truly great writing, and that is the editing process.
You have to remember this. Your first draft is just you getting the clay on the table. The real magic, the real art, happens in the revision. This is where you go way beyond just catching typos. It's about sharpening your argument, smoothing out the flow, and polishing every single sentence until it shines.
You know, professionals don't just read over their work one last time. They attack it with a plan. And with your AI coach, you can do the same thing by breaking your editing down into these distinct focus stages. First up, you have to look at the big picture. For now, just ignore the little typos and grammar stuff. Ask your coach to analyze the logic. Does the argument actually make sense from start to finish? Is the evidence strong enough? Is the overall structure working? Next, you zoom in a bit to the paragraph level. Does each paragraph have one single, clear, controlling idea? Or have you crammed 3 different ideas in there? Do all the sentences actually support that main idea? Or did you go off on a tangent? Then you zoom in again, this time to the sentence level. How do they sound when you read them out loud?
Is there any variety, or does every single sentence start the same way? Because that can create this really repetitive, boring rhythm. This is where you polish your style. Now it's time to get out the microscope. Are you using the most precise, powerful verbs you can find? Have you gotten rid of vague, lazy words like good or stuff? Is every single word in that sentence essential? Does it pull its own weight? And finally, at the very, very end, now you do that final sweep for typos, grammar, and punctuation. By saving this for last, you've cleverly avoided wasting a bunch of time perfecting sentences back in stage 1 that you might have ended up deleting anyway. Okay, this is a total pro-level technique, but it is so incredibly powerful. It's called the Socratic method. Instead of asking your AI coach for the answer like, hey, fix this paragraph, you ask it to guide you with questions. So, for example, you could prompt it, don't rewrite this for me. Instead, ask me 3 critical questions that would help me improve its clarity and impact. See how that changes everything? It forces you to develop your own critical eye and builds that self-editing muscle, making you a way better writer for good long after you've closed your laptop.
So let's just recap the whole game plan. First, you build a strong blueprint with a really nuanced thesis. Then, you build your case with those powerful TEEL-structured paragraphs. You elevate your language with specific, targeted prompts. You edit like a pro in those 5 methodical stages. And you always remember the golden rule. You are the writer. The AI is your coach.
Nobody is born a great writer. It is a skill. And just like any other skill, it's built through consistent, deliberate practice with good, targeted feedback. That really is the secret. That's how you get better. So, you've got the blueprint, and now you have the tools. The only thing left to do is put them into action. The real question isn't if you can become a better writer, it's what are you going to write first?